This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1293, Why Pregnancy and Postpartum Can Trigger Eating Disorder Relapse, by Karges of crystalkarges.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the parenting leg of the week here on ORD. I'm your host and narrator, Greg Audino, coming to you today with a post from Crystal Karges that cautions new and expecting mothers about how having a child could trigger an eating disorder relapse. It's a really important post, though, even for those who don't have a history with an eating disorder, which I will elaborate on in my commentary at the end. So, listen close, everyone. We're going to start this post now and optimize your life. Why Pregnancy and Postpartum Can Trigger Eating Disorder Relapse, by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. The process of growing and bringing a baby into the world are generally considered a joyous time for most women. We're used to seeing the highlight reels of people's lives, the beautiful maternity photos, the baby showers and celebration of new life to come, and the Kodak moments of bonding with a new baby. What we don't always see or hear about are the harder, messier aspects of the pregnancy and postpartum journey. Reality tells a different story, and growing, birthing, and nurturing a baby is not without challenges. For women who may be pregnant or postpartum after eating disorder recovery, this time can bring about changes that can trigger a relapse. An eating disorder relapse can be defined as a regression to active eating disorder behaviors, such as restricting food, binging and/or purging, overexercising, and more. Some of the common eating disorder behaviors that can resurface during this time of a woman's life can be associated with anorexia or bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorder, or orthorexia. The eating disorder triggers no one talks about. If you're a mama in recovery and going through pregnancy or postpartum, be aware of the potential triggers you might encounter on your journey. Awareness helps you understand that you're not alone. Nor are you failing in your recovery, even if you experience urges to engage in your eating disorder at any point during your pregnancy or after having your baby. Here are some of the common changes that women may encounter during pregnancy and postpartum that could potentially trigger an eating disorder relapse. Physical changes. A woman's body has to change in order to accommodate a growing baby. These changes can be overwhelming, especially for a mama with an eating disorder past. Weight can become a focal point during pregnancy, and many women will see their weights escalate to places they have never experienced before. Physical symptoms and side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, fatigue, etc., can make eating uncomfortable. After birthing a baby, a woman is also adjusting to a body that has been transformed from pregnancy, and these body changes can be triggering for a mother with an eating disorder past. Emotional stressors. The combination of hormones with the many stressors of pregnancy and postpartum can trigger a variety of intense emotions, including everything from overwhelm, confusion, sadness, grief, anger, happiness, and more. The emotional roller coaster of pregnancy can be taxing on anyone, and it's no wonder that eating disorder behaviors may feel like a comfortable way to self-soothe. Mental health challenges. Mood disorders, like anxiety and depression, often co-occur with eating disorders, and many women may continue to struggle with a mood disorder even while in eating disorder recovery. Perinatal mental health is an important area that is often neglected during both pregnancy and postpartum. Women with a history of an eating disorder may be more at risk for perinatal mental health conditions, including prenatal and postpartum depression and anxiety. Changing support system. Having a baby means moving into a different season of life. Many women may experience their core support system changing as they begin having children and growing a family. This can put added strain on relationships, which can be triggering for a woman during pregnancy and postpartum. Growing and birthing a baby also changes the dynamic of marriage and partnerships, and close family and friends. A woman can feel isolated during this season of her life, especially in postpartum, where the majority of her time and focus centers around her baby. Body image struggles. The changes a woman experiences in her body can be difficult to cope with. Some women may find that pregnancy and postpartum have helped them better embrace and celebrate their bodies. Other women may find that the changes they're experiencing in their own bodies are scary and hard to adapt to. Either way, pregnancy and birth are transformative, physically, emotionally, and mentally, though the physical changes are what they may feel most apparent. This can be challenging for a mother in eating disorder recovery. These changes are all a normal part of growing and birthing a baby. If you're experiencing urges to return to your familiar eating disorder during your pregnancy and postpartum, it may be due to the many different triggers you're experiencing. Again, this does not mean you aren't strong enough or are failing in eating disorder recovery. It simply means that you might need a little extra help and support along your way, and that's okay. Screening for eating disorders during pregnancy and postpartum. Sadly, over 90% of women with disordered eating are not identified by healthcare professionals during pregnancy. Eating disorders can go undetected and untreated during the vulnerable times of pregnancy and postpartum. If you find yourself struggling, please advocate for yourself and your child by confiding in someone you trust, be it a health professional, family member, or friend. Consider these questions during your pregnancy and postpartum to help you determine if you need further support. Does your weight affect the way you feel about yourself? Do you ever eat in secret? Are you satisfied with your eating patterns? Do your eating patterns cause you to feel guilty, ashamed, or embarrassed? Answering yes to these questions might indicate that you need some extra help and support to navigate the eating disorder triggers you're facing in pregnancy and/or postpartum. Hope for eating disorder recovery. Remember, Mama, you are not alone. The pregnancy and postpartum periods bring about so much change, and it's easy to want to go back to something that's comfortable and gives you a sense of control. The good news is that there is help available to support you through your own pregnancy and postpartum journey, should you find yourself struggling with old eating disorder behaviors. Even with all the triggers you might be experiencing, it's possible to have a healthy pregnancy and baby while remaining in eating disorder recovery. Tell your doctor or midwife about past or present eating disorders. Early intervention can be essential to ensuring a positive outcome for both mother and baby. Working with a dietitian who specializes in eating disorders can also help you successfully navigate any changes you may face during pregnancy and postpartum. Consider nutrition counseling and therapy for your pregnancy and postpartum eating disorder recovery. If you are a postpartum mom recovering from an eating disorder, consider joining Lift the Shame, a free online eating disorder support group specifically for moms who are healing from food and body image issues. While having children often changes the way a woman views herself and her body, this can still be a strenuous time for a mother in eating disorder recovery. Give yourself the extra care and support you need to build a positive future for yourself and your children. You just listened to the post titled, Why Pregnancy and Postpartum Can Trigger Eating Disorder Relapse by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. And ORD listeners, we all know that learning to manage daily stress and anxious thoughts is something that everybody wants, but many of us don't even know where to begin. Well, I recommend our sponsor, Noom Mood. With Noom Mood, you'll take the journey to mental wellness one step at a time. Their guided approach teaches you the power of shifting your mindset in just a few minutes a day, and they really help you in doing it. It's really helped me to be more trusting in myself to handle adversity, and the better I get with this, the less overthinking and exhaustive planning I have to do, which frees up so much of my time, my energy, my mental space, and gives me more confidence. But one size does not fit all. You can navigate the program at your own pace for your own struggles, and you'll also have the support of a coach along the way. So, start to worry less and feel happier by using Noom for just 10 minutes per day. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/ORD. That's NOOM.com/ORD to start your trial today. And a big thank you to Crystal for today's highly important post. Although a lot of expecting women spend plenty of time contemplating the many life changes that will come with having a baby, the thing is, it can still be easy to overlook how those life changes will intersect with certain traumas, like that of an eating disorder. So, while this post was really meaningful for women who have struggles with eating disorders, I encourage expecting mothers and fathers, for that matter, to really reflect on how the arrival of a baby will impact any significant struggles you've had in the past, even if you've worked hard to overcome them. Major parts of your life will coexist somehow. Having a child will inevitably affect your past with PTSD, depression, OCD, bipolar, or any number of mental health troubles. This is really something to be aware of, and yet another reason that going to a counselor can be extremely important, even when things do feel as though they're in a manageable state. Okay, that'll do it for me, friends. I thank you so much for joining as always. I hope this post gave you something to think about, and of course, I hope to see you again tomorrow for another parenting article. That's where your optimal life awaits.